channel. Just wanted to come with a really quick update on how I'm feeling. Today is 5 DPO. We are once again on our TTC journey, and this is our third round of Clomid cycle on 100 milligrams. And you guys, I am just going through a lot of emotions, and I want to share them with you guys. So if you want to know how I've been feeling, what's going on right now, I'm supposed to be missing in action, and I have been, but it is hard to sit back and focus on other things when you really, really want to be pregnant so bad. It's hard to focus on other things and stay on those tasks without your mind wondering about becoming pregnant. So I wanted to come initially to just talk, you know, I wouldn't call it a vent out, if you will. I wouldn't call it a vent out. I would just say, you know, it's just my overall feelings or how I'm feeling, you know, my nerves, my signs and symptoms, my thoughts, how I'm just coping with the 2 weeks wait, because that's what we're in right now. And, you know, thinking about, you know, how I feel about, you know, getting pregnant again when I've only been pregnant one time before, and just basically my overall thoughts. Well, I'll start with this. First of all, I'll start telling you guys what symptoms I'm having on day 5 DPO. But when I woke up this morning, I was having a headache, and I had a slight headache, and my stomach was cramping, dull cramps a little small 2 inches in my back, lower back pain on my right side and somewhat in the middle of my back. Also, what else did I have? I was kind of hot this morning, so I had like a little hot flash, if you will, as well. And that's pretty much about it for my 5th day. And those symptoms have been ongoing all day today. It is now after 3 o'clock p.m. And I've had the same thing pretty much, except for I don't have a headache anymore. I did have an onset of heartburn, which is something that I wouldn't count as a symptom for me because I had gallbladder removal back in my early 20s. So I'm always taking medication for heartburn pretty much almost every day. So that's not one of the typical signs that I would put in my signs and symptoms. It could be, but for me, like I said, it's a norm for me to have to take heartburn medication every day. But overall, how am I feeling? My hubby is getting ready to leave. He's waving at me. See you later, honey. Okay. Overall, how am I feeling? I'm nervous as heck, y'all. To never say the least. I didn't plan to come on here, and I got my tissue here just in case, because I don't want to get emotional, but I feel myself emotional. That's another thing too that I've been noticing for the last few days. I've been very emotional about my feelings, about anything, thoughts, whatever. I've been emotional. So I don't know if that's one of my signs. I don't want to count that as one of my signs, but I will say just the TTC journey itself, I'm excited, don't get me wrong. I'm very excited. I'm still motivated. I'm patient, but you know, this is important. This is our life, and in no sense of the word is it a plaything or act or a reenactment of feelings. These are my true feelings. And yeah, so I'm just dealing with past feelings as well, because I'm thinking about when I was pregnant almost 8 years ago, and how it's been it's a big gap. And last month would have been our due date on May the 23rd. However, being the fact that I do have diabetes type 2, our doctors at the time had stated to me that I was at a higher risk onset of getting preeclampsia as a diabetic, because I was in my early 30s at that particular time. And so anyways, the doctors that we had at that time had stated to us that we may have to come in earlier. So more than likely we would have had an April baby rather than a May baby 8 years ago almost. And so it's hard to not think about that, because last month I tried to keep myself busy, to keep my mind flowing, so that I wouldn't think about the possible month. And in April I did the same thing, because I didn't want to think about, our child would have had a birthday in either one of those months. And so I tried to keep myself busy, and things like that. So it's been hard, to think about just being happy and hopeful that this will finally be our time. I'm getting older, in my window. I know God is able. I know with God all things are possible. And at the same time, the world that we currently live in, the medical field is always talking about your age. They're always talking about any medical condition. Don't get me wrong, I understand that, especially the medical condition side of it, the medical side of it. I understand, because you want to be healthy for yourself in general, as well as healthy for yourself and your baby or babies. But it's so hard when you want to have a child or children and somebody don't seem to be in your corner. And I'm not saying that's not what we have now. We have that now, but it took us a long time to find a team of doctors that wouldn't just talk about my age or talk about my health conditions and just focus only on the negative and never give us any hope or admiration or anything to look forward to say it's possible, because I know there are women who have diabetes and all types of other things going on that don't even remotely try to take care of themselves. And that's not a put down, but don't even try to take care of themselves, and they have healthy babies all the time. So when you're trying to make sure that you're in a good spot and you're planning your pregnancy, it's not going to just pop up on you, if you can help it, as a surprise. It's hurtful when you want it and then you can't seem to get it. You can't seem to grab it. It's hard. And so, it's hard to think about being pregnant before and trying to get pregnant now. I try to keep those two things separate, because because what's done is done. There's nothing we can do about it. But I try to stay in my present. But it's hard when you want to TTC and you are TTC and you're trying to get to that place. It's hard to not vendor back. I know that the word of God says, forget those things that are behind us and press forward the mark of the higher calling, which is to say, in other words, God is telling us to press forward to the future, because he has plans for us, and we know this, and I know this in my heart, and I believe totally in the word. I teach God's word, for goodness sakes, and therefore I know the word inside and out in my heart. But I am still a human being at the end of the day, and I'm trying to keep my human emotions in check so they won't overtake me. But at the same time, I know it's okay to feel human emotions, because even the strongest of us sometimes need motivation. We need to, take and practice what we preach to others. And so that's basically what my feelings are right now. I'm just nervous about this 2 weeks wait. Today being 5. As you guys know, you have to motivate yourself. It's hard to not think about you're in your 2 weeks wait and try to stay busy and all of that stuff, it's not as bad as it seems to be. But then you have your highs and lows days, and I'm having one of those semi-low days today. And the reason why I say semi, because I'm not going to totally all the way give in to it, because I still feel motivated, even though I feel very emotional. I'm very emotional. Even now while I'm talking to you, I'm having like cramps in my stomach and pressure feeling type in my back. But I don't want to read too much into those symptoms, because for the last 3 months I've had those same symptoms, and it just turned out to be my menstrual cycle. It just turned out to be my friend. And so I don't want to, I'm just not at that place, if that makes any sense, because there are so many things, that can make you have symptoms and signs that you're pregnant. What I'm saying? It could be PMS, it could be pregnancy, it could be the medication that you're on if you're taking anything for fertility. It could be a number of things that can onset these type of signs and symptoms. So nothing is 100% sure pregnancy symptoms, because it could be other things. It could You know, I don't want to claim an underlying medical condition. And so, like I said, last week I went to the doctor, and we had our follicle scan done, and ultrasound done. And so they looked and they saw that I had 5 follicles at that time. And I had 2 on the right and 3 on the left. And so I was excited, ecstatic, happy, and I knew I was in the onset of my ovulational stage at that time, because the doctor confirmed it. And he told us to just keep doing what we were doing. And then at the same time, he was like, so I was kind of thrown off in a way, even though I was excited, because I heard what he said, and then at the same time, in the same token, one other part that I didn't mention was he and the elder doctors was like, well, don't feel bad, you know, if you're on Coleman and it didn't work for you, you know, it just shows there's nothing that you did wrong, you know, and you've done everything that you can within your power and your reach, which is true. And they were like, you have 5 follicles, so if this doesn't work out for you, then I would suggest that it's time to move on to something else, being that this is your 3rd round. And then our OB that gave us the Clomid gave us a year's supply of Clomid. Don't ask me why, but we have a refill for another 6 rounds of Clomid, and I have 1 packet of 5-day pills left in this round of this refill that I have. So basically he gave me 6 months supply the first time if I was just taking 5 pills, you know, each month. But then because I got bumped up to 100 milligrams, then that cut down how many month supplies I had available. Okay, so I have 5 left in the pack that I showed you guys earlier in my earlier videos. And so but I have a refill to get 6 more in a packet or whatever. But when I went to him last week before getting sent to go get my ultrasound done, he was like, well, this is your 3rd month on Coleman. You know, the first month I was on 50 milligrams. Last month and this month I was on 100 milligrams. And so he was like, I don't want you to go past 5 rounds. And I was like, well, I thought it was 6. And he was like, well, you know, if it's going to work, it's going to work. And I really honestly don't want you to go past the 5th round. So I was feeling kind of discouraged by that at the same time, because, you know, you want to keep getting those enhancements, even though it scares you, the symptoms and all of that. I still wanted to continue to move forward with something that would help enhance my chances to conceive. And so when I got sent over to the hospital to go get my ultrasound, I was feeling kind of down. I was in pain at the same time. I was feeling kind of almost defeated. And I was upset in a way, but I was working really hard in front of my husband and our eldest daughter not to show my emotions, because I wanted, you know, to just stay in a good place. And I remember when we arrived at the hospital, and I got out and I went in, and they checked me over and everything. It was just a surprise and shock to me that I had 5 follicles. And remind you, they didn't tell me whether or not they were completely mature or not. When I asked him, how does everything look, what is looking like, or whatever, he just simply said everything was normal. So I'm taking normal was everything was good, everything was a go. And so he didn't give me a bad report. But at the same time, like I said, getting back to what the elders and him were saying, when she came on the scene, the elder doctor and this younger doctor was saying that, you know, don't feel bad if, you know, you don't get pregnant this cycle. You've done everything you can, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, you might want to switch to maybe Femera, give it a break for like a little while, then just go ahead on and just switch to Femera, or don't give a break and just switch on over to Femera, because a lot of people, excuse me, are turning to Femera nowadays because it has less side effects. And I've tried Femera one time in the past, long time ago. And, of course, it didn't do anything for me. When I did get pregnant almost 8 years ago, I got pregnant on my own. I was weighing, like, I didn't look like it, but I was like 200-some pounds, and then I lost weight. Before my husband and I got married, I just went completely just full focus and brought my weight down. I went from like 200-some pounds to like 169 pounds, and then my body just actually started reversing itself. And I got pregnant on my own. And so exactly 3 months after we were married. And I knew it because I just felt different early on set. And I don't know if God showed me that I felt different because something was wrong, because I later had a miscarriage, or I just knew because my body is very sensitive, which it is very sensitive when something is going on. And so I don't want to, like now, I'm feeling sensitive to my body. I'm emotional. I have headaches. My back hurt, crampy every single day since last week. And I'm paying attention to them, trust and believe I have those symptoms in the back of my mind, but I'm trying so hard not to focus on them. If that makes any sense, I'm not trying to focus on them, sis, because I know they can be misleading and it could turn out to be something else. And so I just, next week being the day that I would get my period, either on the 18th or the 19th. So I'm just, my fingers are crossed. Of course, my prayers are up. I was talking to the Lord this morning, expressing my thoughts and my feelings. And I was like, Lord, I'm married, for goodness sakes. I have a husband, and I live for you. And I just poured my heart out, and I talked about how some people don't want, not a put down, but some people don't want their child or children they're blessed with, or the rate of teenage pregnancy, that they should be even having a baby right now. No offense, but you look at yourself as a mature woman, as a mature adult, a responsible adult, a loving, kind, full of nurture, and have all the assets and have done everything in a row of the way, prioritize your life. And then, like, I was reading an article yesterday that says, well, it wasn't an article, I take that back. I was on someone's channel. I was reading an article and I was on someone's channel pretty much almost at the same time. And anyway, well, just a few minutes behind each other. So anyway, I was on somebody's channel I just started following and subscribed to yesterday. And she made a valid point. I couldn't remember if it was the article or someone. But she made a valid point. She said, you think about, you spend your whole early 20s, or younger life trying to avoid getting pregnant, and then when you get ready to have a baby, it's hard. It's extremely hard. It's like the most challenging, difficult task you could ever try to achieve. And that is so true. I find that a very, very true statement. If I couldn't have said it better myself. And I have faith, and I know that God is able, and I know He would do exceedingly above all that I could ever ask or think. But I'm just trying to get my clarity. I'm trying to keep myself grounded and rooted and stay motivated. But I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you no lie. It is really, really hard. It is tremendously hard. But my husband is in such a good place. Getting to him, he says that God has showed him, and I don't want to get too deep into it because I'm waiting to really just see the confirmation. God showed him that we're going to have, and even showed him the sex and everything. So I'm just believing and holding on to that, and that really makes me want it the more. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's there for us to reach out and grab it, and I'm grabbing, and I haven't touched it. It's not tangible yet, but I believe it. And so basically, my thoughts and my feelings are, I just don't want to build myself up believing and going down that road again to be torn down and disappointed. So that's why I think I'm emotional, because it's hard to not be emotional. How can you not have your emotions in it when it's something so dear and near to your heart? So anyway, I'm going to get off here, you guys. I just wanted to come and just talk about my emotions and my feelings and what's going on and where my thoughts are right now on this 5th day of DPO. Again, I'm just, striving to stay motivated, right now. I'm just only part of the way of the first week wait, and almost completed. Thursday will be a full week, a full 7 days. And I had said that I was going to start testing like on the 8th through the 11th, and then the 12th through the 14th. And I'm not going to test anymore because I've already tested myself twice. I take that back, 3 times, and I knew it was too early. But again, I thought that maybe I'll be one of those one in a trillion women that could get an early positive. But yeah, I just said I'll take a chill pill because it is emotionally draining. And I guess you could say I did it to myself because I knew it was too early. But I don't think that that what set my emotions off, though. I was already just, you know, it's just have highs and lows that comes with it. But I think I'm going to be okay. You know, I just ask you guys to continue to pray for us as we continue to pray for you, that we all get our blessing from above very, very soon, that we can implement the parenthood in our future children, that we already, if you're already a parent, or if you're going to be a first-time parent, you can implement the parenting skills that God has placed so diligently inside of you. And my husband can do and I can do the same thing with continuously with our 3 children we have, and continuously adding on to our family. I pray for all of us, you know, our strength and our serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, you know, and the wisdom and courage to know the difference, and to accept God's will in our lives. And through it all, the tears, the struggles, the pains, at the end of the day, you know, it's all really going to be worth it, whether we get a baby or babies out of this or not, because God's will in our lives are going to just create more testimonies and treasures from above in our lives in some shape, form, or another. And God gets the glory out of all that we're going through, because it's only Him that can sustain us. And already just sitting here just talking about my feelings have already made me feel better, and that's a good thing. That I want be leaving this video feeling the way that I did when I first came. You know, I felt the emotions in the beginning, but I didn't have to use the tissues. I feel so much better, even if it doesn't sound like it's in my voice. I feel so much better. I'm still, you know, gonna pray. I'm gonna go spend some time with God when I'm done with this video, and just go into a deep thought meditation prayer with Him, so that He can continue to work on me. And I want to leave you guys with this. I'm not giving up. I'm not giving in to my emotions. I'm letting the emotions come out so they can come out rather than stay in. But I'm not giving in. I still have faith. I still have hope. And no matter what I look like on the outside, it has nothing to do with how I feel in my heart. And so I feel in my heart that I trust God, you know, His will and His way, whichever the case. It's either going to be positive or it's going to be negative. And I have to accept that if that's what my season beholds for us. So nevertheless, I want to say, you guys, stay encouraged. Keep your baby dust flowing. More baby dust and love and motivation and triumph to press forward in your life, on your TTC journey, in your everyday life. Press your way. Stay prayed up. Keep looking towards God. Keep looking on to His word for your strength. And all adorations to you guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much already in advance for the encouragement I know you're going to send our way. Thank you for the love that you've shown us. Thank you for coming back to our channel time and time again and leaving encouraging words. Whatever you're praying and asking God for, I hope and pray that He give it and grant it to you in the name of Jesus, according to His will and His way, because He knows what's best for us. And I thank you guys so much for becoming subscribers to our channel. If you haven't already, please do. Also click the notification bell so you won't miss when we upload a video. Comment down below, leave us a comment, and give us some likes and give us some hearts, whatever you can do on here, and just let us know, you know what I'm saying, what's going on in your world with TTC Journey. We would love to be on board of your train of TTC Journey, and we would love to read you guys on. So I love you guys so much. I'm going to go now, and I'll see you guys a little later. And full speed ahead, Godspeed ahead. And remember to use your spiritual gifts. Why? Because God gave them to you. They're yours. So use them. I love you guys. See you guys later.